Hi everybody, this is Teacher Luke, your Pinay IELTS teacher. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to focus on your general training writing task 1, which is writing your letters. And before we go there, let's talk about your writing scoring rubric. You do know that you're being graded in 4 of these aspects, so please watch my earlier videos that talk about each of these ones. Your writing task 1 is ideally supposed to be finished within 20 minutes. You have to write a minimum number of 150 words, but I strongly recommend do not exceed 200 words. There are 3 tones of letter or types of letter that you need to know. Your informal, semi-formal, and formal. And you only need to write one on your IELTS test, but you have to be ready to write any of these because you will never know unless you see your task card. So these are some of the tasks, but not limited to. You either give or ask for information, give or ask for opinion, express like or dislike, or sometimes you file complaints through a letter. With this said, what are the important elements that should be part of your letter? Again, for task achievement, you need to exceed the minimum number of words. So we don't recommend that you write exactly 150 words. So go for 160 or 180, but don't go more than that because your letter might be too lengthy and it might be too time consuming. Remember, you have to still write your essay for part 2, which is almost double the points, the average, the score bearing for that one. So you need to spend more time for the essay. Now, you have to use transition words to make your ideas more cohesive. Use relevant vocabulary. Careful not to use idioms and idiomatic expressions during your semi-formal and formal letters, okay? Now, use varying tenses of verbs and sentence structures. This is for your grammar range. Use appropriate tone. As I've said, you have to know what are the characteristics or what do you need to do or how do you write informal, semi-formal, and formal. You have to be specific. You can add details, be as creative as you can, create scenarios in your head and put it into writing. That way, your letter becomes more realistic, okay? You have to follow the flow of the bulleted task. What does that mean? So, there is a task card given to you, there are bullet points, and the way you have to write your letter would be to follow those bullet points by order. And there's a reason for that. Later, we will do that together when we start writing our letter together. Before we go through that, today we're going to discuss all about semi-formal letter. We're going to practice doing the outline and the letter itself together. We need to know first what are the elements of a semi-formal letter. So the tone should be nearer to a formal letter. Okay, so you would think that there's informal letter, there's formal letter, and there's a semi-formal letter. Sometimes you might think, where is it closer to? Is it a little bit in the informal? Is it a little bit to the formal? But in fact, semi-formal letter is a lot like the formal letter. The only difference is you know the person you're writing to. So for example, you're writing to your supervisor or your professor, someone that is higher in position to you, someone in a professional relationship with, but you know this person so that you know the last name. And when you begin writing your letter, you start your greeting by saying Mr. or Miss and then the last name of that person. That's a huge difference with your formal letter because in the formal letter, you only say dear sir or madam. Okay, because you don't have a direct relationship with that person. All right, going back here, you're not allowed to use contractions and slangs. What are contractions? This is when you shorten your words. Say, for example, I have, and you shorten it as I've. Please do not use that on the semi-formal and the formal letter, but for the informal, you are highly encouraged to use that to give it a more casual approach and a more personal touch to it. All right. For the voice, we don't want it to be too professional, just like in a formal letter, but we also want to keep it generally polite. There is still that professional relationship, as I've said earlier. For the common greeting, as I've said, dear Mr. or Miss, and then the last name. The closing and the farewell is very the same with the formal letter. Thank you for understanding. Thank you in advance. For the farewell, sincerely, respectfully yours, yours faithfully, sincerely yours, whatever tickles your fancy. Okay? Now, this is the sample task card that we will answer together today. I will read it out to you. You work for an international company. You have seen an advertisement for a training course which will be useful for your job. You have to write a letter to your manager. In your letter, you describe the training course you want to do. You explain what the company could do to help you. and you have to say how the course will be useful for your job. Okay, so that is our task card. Based on that, we will now begin with our outline and our letter. Now, why do we have to create an outline? A lot of the students or test takers would immediately jump to writing the letter. I do not recommend that, because what happens is, although you think it might save you time, it might do the opposite. Because you start writing the letter without having any idea about an overview or where to go or the whole direction of your letter, you start cramming with time. You start like being stuck. You begin feeling like you're stuck with your ideas. It's not flowing naturally. You start re-editing and re-editing, and at the end of it, you're running out of time to finish the letter. So if you dedicate a few minutes at the beginning, 3 to 5 minutes at the start, to create a strong outline, it does 50% of the job. Why? Because now you have a guide, and all you have to do is expound on those keywords found on your outline, and boom, now you know where you're going. All right? Having an outline saves time. It gives a direction to your letter. It makes sure that you achieve all the tasks being asked of you. And it also makes sure that you have all the elements that you want to see in your letter, which are important to get a high band score. All right, so let's start. The greeting, as you know, for a semi-formal letter, we always begin with dear sir or madam. Dear sir, Mr. or Miss, and the last name. So in this case, I'm just going to say, dear Mr. Davidson. Okay. For the introduction, guys, all letters have an introduction. The introduction is where you're going to put the intention of the letter. You want to make clear from the beginning of the letter what are you trying to achieve, or what is your intention for writing. So you immediately say, because I want to ask permission for a training course, just as the task card is asking earlier, I will say something like, writing to ask permission. Okay? And perhaps I could just say training course on social media marketing, and it's a 3-month course. So I will say exactly what the person would expect from my letter right off the bat during the introduction. Okay, now let's go to paragraph 1. So paragraph 1, 2, and 3 is aligned to your answers from bullet point 1, 2, and 3. You have to follow the flow for that. All right. Bullet point 1 says, describe the training course you want to do. So I'm just going to say here real quick that it is a social media marketing training course. It will be beneficial with the goals of the company. Okay, so I'm thinking this is the part, guys, when you're creating on your outline and you're brainstorming, you're creating a story in your head. So be creative, be as creative as you want to be, but just limit your ideas 2 to 3 ideas only. So if you notice, I'm writing only keywords. I'm not writing the whole thing, because the way to go for an outline is the quickest and fastest way. Because remember, you only have 3 or 5 minutes. You want to spend more time in the actual writing of your letter. All right. So for this one, paragraph 1, it's asking on the training course that I want to do. So I'm talking about social media marketing, and it would say something like teaching training on social media platforms. So I could say something like social media platforms and management as well. Okay, something like this. Platforms management and beneficial for the goals of the company. That's what I'm going to say. All right. Number 2, bullet point 2 for paragraph 2, it says, explain what the company could do to help you. So in my head, perhaps I would need a referral letter so I can be part of an exclusive group. Okay, so that I would get resources. So what I'm thinking, where the story is heading, is that I need to ask for a referral from my manager so that I could be part of this exclusive program within that training course. And that exclusive group is only for marketing director. So now I'm the marketing director. That's the story in this letter. I'm the marketing director for the company, and if I have a referral letter from my manager, from my upper head, then I can join this exclusive group within that training program, and then I could get more resources because of that exclusivity that I'm part of. Okay? Now, paragraph piece is asking how the course will be useful for the job. So, of course, as the marketing director, then I can train my colleagues. Okay. And also, it will be beneficial for the company because I'm learning all these new things, and that will give us an edge, right? An edge, competitive edge. Okay, closing state sentence would be because I'm asking for permission, I would say thank you and also look forward. I'm looking forward for positive, favorable response, right? Sign off or farewell, I'll just say here, sincerely yours. And then my name should always be a full name because this is a semi-formal letter. Okay, now that you have an outline, it already shows you the gist or the overview of your letter. You already know you're writing to Mr. Davidson, you're asking permission to join a training for 3 months. The training will be all about social media platforms and managing it, and it will align with the goal of the company. Okay, so I'm thinking something like the company has always been wanting to transition to social or online platforms, and this is the um, perfect activity for it, or perfect way to manifest that company's goal. And then I would say, like, I need a referral letter from my manager to join an exclusive group so that I could get on resources that will be helpful for us and the company. And because I'm a marketing director for the company, I'd be able to train my colleagues, which gives us a competitive edge. All right. And then thank you. Looking forward for your response. Sincerely yours, Maria Lasam. That's good. I'm satisfied with my outline. Now let's begin writing the letter. Okay. So I would start saying, Dear Mr. Davidson, go straight ahead by saying I'm writing to ask permission to enroll in a 3-month training course on social media marketing. Okay, so this is good, but how do I want my letter to be more realistic? Perhaps I could add more details, such as who is handling this course, who is the one providing the course. Maybe I would say by Focus Tech. I just made this up, guys, and that it's gonna be during the summer. All right. So by adding that detail, it makes my letter more realistic now. And plus, it adds to the total number of words, right? So after I did my greeting, my introduction, I go straight ahead to bullet point 1 or paragraph 1. So I would say this course will provide extensive training on marketing businesses in various social media platforms, as well as effectively managing online presence and content. All right, because we know social media, we know about content, about managing social media platforms and these different platforms. I just use my background knowledge in that and put that on writing. All right, and then I say something like, because I want to use what I wrote in the outline, that it's beneficial for the goal of the company, I would say, like, as such, it aligns with the company. As such, it aligns with the company's goal of strengthening our online campaigns. So here, I'm basically saying this is what the company wanted anyway. So this move will align with that goal of the company. All right. Let's go to the second paragraph, which is what I need, right? It says, what do I need from the company to help me? All right. So I say something like, even though the course is free for all, I would still need a referral letter so I can be placed in an exclusive group. Okay, so I wanted to be part of an exclusive group for marketing directors. In that way, I can obtain valuable resources and experience to our advantage. So I'm saying by joining an exclusive group within that training program, I have better access for everything, even gain more experience. Okay, for the third paragraph, this is the part that says, say how this course will be useful for your job. And then on my outline, it said I'll be able to train my colleagues. It'll be beneficial for the company, and I'm creating a story that I'm the marketing director. So as I say, I would say it like, as the marketing director of this company, I am obliged to leverage my skills and knowledge to impart to my colleagues and contribute to the benefits of the company. All right. Furthermore, I want to use connecting words like furthermore to create coherence from one idea to another, make it a more smooth transition. Furthermore, this cutting edge training, okay, will place us in a strategic position, thereby potentially increasing consumer brand awareness. And I'm going to sign off by saying thank you, and I look forward for your favorable response. Sincerely yours, Maria Lasam. So remember, guys, when you are writing a letter task that's asking you to request, you need to say thank you and what you intend to do, or what are you asking from this person in your sign off or farewell. So your sign off or farewell is summarizing what you need from that person. So don't forget to put thank you, especially if you're asking something from someone. All right, so let's read the letter. Dear Mr. Davidson, I'm writing to ask permission to enroll in a 3-month training course on social media marketing by Focus Tech in summer. This course will provide extensive training on marketing businesses in various social media platforms, as well as effectively managing online presence and content. As such, it aligns with the company's goal of strengthening our online campaigns. Even though the course is free for all, I would still need a referral letter so I can be placed in an exclusive group for marketing directors. In that way, I can obtain valuable resources and experience to our advantage. As the marketing director of this company, I'm obliged to leverage my skills and knowledge to impart to my colleagues and contribute to the benefit of the company. Furthermore, this cutting-edge training will place us in a strategic position, thereby potentially increasing consumer brand awareness. Thank you, and I look forward for your favorable response. Sincerely yours, Maria Lasam. Okay, so I think that is a well-constructed letter. Now, if I do an analysis on that letter for this one, you would see the elements that we need to get that band score. So the underlined words are your variations in your sentence structures. So the underlined sentences are compound and complex sentences. The ones that are not underlined are your simple sentences. So now we're talking about grammar range in terms of sentence structures. That could be present. You have to have simple, compound, and complex. You have to have a variety of that in your letter. Next, the ones in orange are your vocabulary or lexical resource. So as you can see, my topic is all about a course in social media marketing. So all my vocabularies are related to it. Social media marketing, marketing, presence and content, manage online campaigns, referral, exclusive, valuable resources, cutting edge, strategic position, consumer brand awareness, leverage, So these are good words that could support my idea. These are higher level words, but not really highfalutin to the point that it's not anymore related or it's not effective to use. There is still effective to use, but then it's a using it at a higher level. Okay, those words that are in red are my conjunctions, subordinate conjunctions, as well as coordinating conjunctions. This is just to show that I am indeed using complex and compound sentences. The green ones are in future tenses, which just shows that I have variety in my grammar tenses. So all the ones that are not in green are in present tense, and the ones in green provide future tenses. Will provide, will obtain, will place. So you don't really need to use past tense, present tense, future tense in your writing as long as there's two of them there. There is a variety already. It's the variety that we want. Is to showcase that we can change our grammar tenses depending on the idea that we want to express. And that gives you a high score in your grammar range. Okay, the blue ones are transition words or connecting words. Again, as I've said earlier, you want to use as much as you can whenever you shift one idea to another to ensure a more cohesive and smooth transition of ideas. It presents a more structured letter. Okay, as such, in that way, furthermore. So do your research, guys. Download all these transition and connecting words and try applying them when you write your letter, especially when you write your essay. All right, and that's it. This seems like a well-structured letter. The reason I was able to do that is I created an outline in the first place. The outline made sure that I did all the work in there. And by the way, if we talk about task achievement, this is a total of 160 words, 66 words if I'm not mistaken. So that passes our task achievement. Do we have lexical resource? Yes, we do, the orange ones. Do we have grammar range and accuracy? Of course, the underlined ones and the green ones show grammar range. Do we have cohesive and cohesionness? Yes. Cohesive and cohesion. Yes, the blue ones are transition words or connecting words. And the fact that it follows a bulleted way, like it follows the structure of the bullet form, shows a structured letter altogether. All right. So see, guys, you have to try doing this, creating an outline, and try checking your answer afterwards if you have all of these elements present in your writing. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, I'm Teacher Luke from Pinay IELTS Teacher. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment down below which ones you want me to talk about next. And make sure to hit that bell button so you will be notified every time I give an upload. You would expect a lot of educational and helpful tips as well as free tutorials like this to help you in your IELTS preparation. So thank you so much, and I see you again next time.